Okay, welcome back to episode 2 with myself, Rachel, and
Hey, Alan, how's it going? Good morning. It's morning here anyway. It's a beautiful misty morning in Birdhill. Yeah, so the vision here was to create two things. I wanted to create a roastery and also a cafe. So the roastery part would be catering for what we call B2B, so business to business, other cafes that want to buy roasted coffee, and so as a wholesale supplier, the idea was to create a roastery, and then I also wanted to create a retail space where people could come and have a cup of coffee, and where we could showcase what we do.
okay. So you started roasting here in January, so that's already up and running.
Yeah, we've actually we've completed 600 roasts so far, more than 600. I think 604, 605. So give or take a net output of 6,000 kilos before we opened. Well, not before we opened, but in the first few months of practice roasts and profiling coffees, experimenting with coffees, and then a little bit of supply in the last 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, so you're supplying to cafes and...
Yeah, we're supplying to cafes, and we have a few new wholesale customers that are taking on our coffee from the old Barracks.
We're talking about what makes the old Barracks coffee different to any other wholesale coffee that's available at the moment.
Right, good question. Because I think there are a lot of suppliers out there, and there are a lot of artisan suppliers, and I'm not so sure if it's really easy to identify what the differences are in the market. I know what our differences are. So I think we do 3 things really, really well, and they are, I suppose, first and foremost, there's a huge element of transparency to what we want to offer. So that's an openness and a willingness to share all of our information around the coffees that we source, how we roast them, the volumes that we roast, even just the space here that we have, where you can actually just walk in and walk around the roaster, or you can walk behind our espresso bar and you can watch, and we'll basically donate all that information to our wholesale customers.
Do you find that there's roasters out there that kind of withhold this information from their customers?
Yeah, I think one of my biggest learnings from the industry since the start has been, that there's the more open you are and the more willing you are to communicate and not to use smoke screens, the more willing people are to buy from you, and they feel that you're informed, and that then they can make an informed decision based on just telling them the truth. So that means you tell them the good and the bad. So you tell them when you make a mistake, and you're honest enough to apologise for that, and also that when you do things great, that you share the wins as well.
Yeah.
So I think one of the biggest factors we have going for us is that element of transparency, which leads into traceability, which leads into an openness, and leads into willingness to share. So there are no secrets. We'll answer any question to any level.
Yeah.
And of course, we're sourcing great coffee. We're sourcing coffees that are all specialty coffees. We've been to a lot of the countries that we're buying from, and we will continue to travel to other countries, and we share, I suppose, the transparency and the information from those farms as well. So there's a lot of content there that we mightn't necessarily share on social media, but we have it available in depth for our wholesale customers.
Okay.
So transparency and an openness, I think, is our biggest unique selling point.
Okay.
The second thing is our approach to sustainability. So we have 100% sustainable approach. So we're trying to make sure that everything we do, from the green coffee through to the types of bags that we use, and delivering those into our wholesale customers, which are the grain pro bags, to collecting those bags when the wholesale customers have used them, and we take them back and we recycle them, and we send them back out again. to composting our coffee grounds here. So we have a composter in the garden. Even the build of our bar counter here in the coffee bar. So that's out of recycled materials, basically the pallets from that our roaster got delivered in, and partitions that surrounded our roaster, and pallets that coffee machines have come from. So we're really pushing the boat when it comes to sustainability, and then the first point, which is transparency. And then I think the third thing, and these aren't in any particular order, but I think the third thing that we do really well is we have pretty much a huge depth of knowledge, and we're relentless in our pursuit of more knowledge. So that knowledge bank is there and is available for wholesale customers to dive into, whether that is for coffee design, or whether that's for coffee knowledge, or whether that's helping them create their vision. We have a huge knowledge bank of information there that our current wholesale customers get great value from, and it's the kind of thing that you can't charge for, but that information is there and it's really valuable, and it's a great resource for wholesale customers. So I think expecting great coffee as a standard. So we're in a market where we buy great coffee, we source great coffee, we speak to very progressive coffee farmers, and we import all those coffees. So taking all those things as a given that most artisan roasters would do, and what then sets us apart is our depth of knowledge, and our sustainability approach, and our transparency approach.
Okay, very good. And just the two words there that you hear kind of bantered about a lot is artisan and specialty coffee.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if there's people out there that are claiming to be artisan and specialty coffee roasters, but the old Barracks is. Can you explain what they are and what that is exactly?
So artisan to me means anything that's produced in small volumes and has been managed by hand. So there are craft beers or artisan beer producers, again, small volumes. So if you look at what we do in an artisan sense, we're roasting on what's called a 15 kilo Gießen roaster. So the capacity is 15 kilos, but within that we're only roasting between 10 and 12 kilos. So all of our roasts are small batches. Compared to maybe like a commercial roaster that might roast in batches of 100 or 200 kilos per go. So 10 or 12 or 50 times maybe the volume that we can possibly roast in. So we're a small batch roaster, or an artisan roaster. That's the way I would see the difference. Specialty coffee, for sure, is a term that has been maybe misused or badly applied in cases. And specialty coffee for the specialty coffee buyers is coffee that has a cup score, a very high cup score. So without getting into it in too much detail, basically every coffee that we buy has been graded in terms of its quality, and that's normally out of 100 points. And we typically buy coffees that are graded specialty and are between the point score of 84 to 100. Now, you don't often get coffees that are at 100 ever, so really it's between 84 and 90 or 91, 92 points. And the 90 plus coffees are extremely rare, they're extremely expensive, and any of the coffees that are graded between 84 points and up are quite expensive. So we could be paying 6, 7, 8 times more than the typical commodity price, or more in some cases, maybe 10 times. We have coffees here that are 14, 15 euros a kilo, and the current commodity price is $1.40 a pound. So specialty coffee, I see it in some instances where just because coffee has latte art and people are trying to pass that off as specialty coffee. And at the end of the day, I suppose it's on your moral compass. We know that we're buying really good quality coffees, and we're giving those to our customers to sell on. And there's a skill and a certain level of knowledge that the barista needs to have in in order to execute that coffee to a really super standard and to deliver that as consistent coffee. So specialty coffee is coffees that have been graded and managed by the farms to a superior level of quality. And you see it, bagged, stamped on the bags or graded on the bags, or you see the paperwork coming from the farms that they've scored in what's known locally as a cup of excellence program. It's really detailed, but basically you have commodity coffee just like you have cheap wines, and then you have really expensive wines, and you can go as high along that chain or as low along that chain as you want to go. And the more people get experience with tasting coffee, and the more they are open to trying coffees from different regions and from different altitudes, and that have been roasted differently, the more flavour experiences you get, and then you get to learn to appreciate what a specialty coffee flavour might be, or a commodity coffee flavour.
So because that's kind of trending at the moment now, people are getting more of an appreciation for these different roasts, these different kind of coffees. So that's something that will be offered here when the cafe opens.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is bridge the gap between the taste of coffee and coffee with flavour. Right. So people are very familiar with what coffee tastes like, because you go to a petrol station and you get a coffee and it's strong and it's bitter, and that's what they know as the taste of coffee.
Yeah.
Right. And what we're trying to do, and a lot of artisan specialty coffee producers deliver, is coffee with flavour. So they're very recognisable flavours. So flavours of chocolate and different types of chocolate. So when we talk about chocolate, it could be baker's chocolate or milk chocolate or white chocolate. Okay, so we're getting into layers. When we describe maybe fruits, it could be prunes or dates or figs or raisins or sultanas. Okay, so we're getting into flavours. When you buy, let's say, an on-the-road coffee, that taste of coffee, those flavours aren't discernible. And we're trying to migrate coffee drinkers from this taste of coffee to coffee with flavour. So it's not a big jump by any means, because when the coffee is made expertly, you can identify the flavours. And then so we migrate them from tasting coffee to tasting flavours. And then we can play with these flavours over here, and we can develop flavours from Rwanda or El Salvador or Brazil or Costa Rica or Guatemala or Papua New Guinea or Burundi or Ethiopia. And all of these flavours then are different, because they come from different farms and different altitudes and different types of cherries. So what we're going to deliver in the cafe space is we're going to help people migrate from what their typical taste of coffee is to a flavour that they really like. Basically, in our space, we have a roaster, which you can see behind me, and we also have this coffee bar. So we're going to be the first ones in the country with a mod bar, which is a really sleek under-counter espresso machine structure with just the taps over the bar counter. And again, it's leading into this sense of openness and transparency. So we want the whole theatre of the espresso extraction to be seen. So there's no machine blocking the vision, and there's nothing else. You'll just be able to see the extraction and how the coffee pours. So it's super transparent. We'll also have some brewing, as opposed to espresso. So brewing will be like filter brews or Calita or Chemex or French press for people that like to have their coffee brewed in immersion brews or longer extractions than a short 25 or 30-second espresso. And then we have a space for about 12 or 14 people to sit, either at the coffee bar or at high benches around the room. And I'm hoping that we'll also have space, a lower space, as in people can sit down lower in a more loungy atmosphere as well. But we're kind of outgrowing the building already, and we haven't even opened. I'm hoping that that's going to work out.
Yeah. So the Coffeebar idea is it's real like casual, and people can come in and they can hang out and like lean up against the bar and chat to the barista and chat to whoever's next door.
Yeah. I see it as the kitchen party. You know,
Yeah.
when you go to a house party and there's always a kitchen party, so there's always people hanging around the island in the kitchen or where the food is being put together. So we have this fully a bar of, you know, you can walk around the whole bar, you can walk in around the back and stand beside the barista as the coffee's made. It's completely freestanding, and it's bar height, so you can stand there and lean on with your elbow, and it's a very open space. So it's this big, beautiful conservatory, as I said, beside the roaster, and we just want people to hang out and to talk coffee or talk life. It's just a third space. It's really just a third space for people to be in. That's I suppose coffee centric and for the coffee curious, but without it being too prescribed or too emotionally draining in your coffee thoughts. You know,
it's not going to be like a place where people don't come and you have to like you're going to bash on all this information on about the different coffee. Like.
Yeah, no, it's just hang out and have coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, it's we're happy to go as deep with the conversation, you know, as people want. So we can go narrow and deep, but most people will rather go broad and quite shallow. You know, so we just want people to enjoy the space. We've an awesome surroundings. So we've got views of the lake. And on mornings like this, it's really misty, and you can just see the mist lifting off the lake. So it's really beautiful, and it's super quiet. It's super peaceful. What more can I say about it? It's just like it's all really about experience these days. So while we're going to have for sure great coffee, and we can take people on that coffee journey, we're also going to have a small limited menu available, be it breakfast items or, you know, granola pots and maybe scones and maybe some simple lunch items and loads of cakes.
Yeah. So
it'll be coffee and cakes. It won't be your stereotypical cafe because seating will be quite limited and low numbers, and the building itself is quite restrictive. But what we will have in abundance will be loads of varieties of coffee and loads of chat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and as well as the chat, you might hear the browse around the retail space that you're going to have. So.
Oh yeah. So we'll have all of our coffees for sale.
Yeah.
And we'll also have some other coffee brewing equipment. And I'm not quite sure what amount of retail stock yet, because we're in the middle of buying different levels of merchandise, crockery, cutlery that we can also resell, coffee bags that I mentioned, and probably like a load of home brewing kit and other funky stuff like coffee socks that people can buy, or you know, just stuff that you can use at home when you're brewing your own coffee.
So you can bring a bit of the old Barracks back home with you.
Yeah, that's the idea. If you can't join us here on Saturday morning, take a bag of coffee home and put on your coffee socks and brew up a cup.
Okay.
Okay,
so I think that's we'll wrap it up for now. Yeah. Go make another cup of coffee. I'm done. Are you done?
I think you're making the coffee.